What's going on, traders? Sandro O'Connell with Pristine Capital coming at you with yet another market recap video. It is May 27th, 2021. Please go ahead and click the like button on this video and subscribe to my channel if you enjoy this content, and I will continue to make it for you. Today we're going to talk about the price action in the indices. We will go under the hood and check out our sectors and style factors. We'll go over some of my trades for the day, and last but not least, we will cover some options order flow. Before I jump in all that, quick risk disclaimer: nothing in this video should be construed as investment advice or recommendations. Please follow your own trading plan, your own risk parameters, and last but certainly not least, do not YOLO your entire account to any one of my trades. All right, let's jump right in. Oh my gosh, what a day. I would like to announce we've all become much better stock pickers. Every stock that we buy goes and it just goes straight to the moon. So that's great. We all just became better stock pickers, which is awesome. No, I'm just messing around. But yeah, we have, the market is really much more accommodative now. And that's why I joke around about we're all becoming better stock pickers, because I'm realizing now more than ever the environment that you're in matters so much. So in 2020, the last 2 or 3 months of the year, it was like boom, boom, boom. You buy stocks, you buy calls, and it's you can't miss. Everything that you're buying is going up. Then once we hit February, March, April, that was like the doldrums. Or if you've been actively trading this, you know exactly what I mean, where unless you got a perfect entry, you're just getting blown away on positions. Companies would report earnings and just gap down 10%. It was a mess. So I can definitely appreciate, that this environment is just a lot more conducive. And I think part of what being a good trader is just knowing what environment that you're in. So I just try to keep myself humble by understanding even if a lot of these are going up, it's really are you pressing in the right environments and kind of being more defensive when the market's very weak. But yeah, you can see S&P 500, that was a pretty big monologue there, but I think it's important. For our box scores, we had the S&P 500 down 0.05%, or up 0.05%, excuse me, as measured by the SPY. We had the NASDAQ QQQ finish down 0.37%. We had the IWM finish up 1.03%, and we had the Dow Jones close up 0.39%. So I really think this is following the most happy path that it can. This is essentially textbook. If this works, that would be amazing. So we had a really nice run off the lows here, off this huge wick candle. We got a really hard and fast move, and now we're just consolidating above this monthly value area high. So I know there's a lot of skeptics in this market, but when you're just following the price action, to me it looks like there's a really good chance that we follow through to the upside. This reminds me just like what happened in early April. Looking back here, I'll remind you once again. So this isn't really good. I can't really zoom the way that I would like to, but yeah, right here. So look at this. This was March. We had a nice move to the upside, then we dipped lower. And then in early or late March, early April, we had a nice explosive move out of the monthly value area. And then look at this. 1, 2, 3 candles of sideways action. And then we blew off to the upside on the first of the month, April 1st. Look at what we're seeing right now. Yeah, so big up candle, 3 sideways, and then an explosion at the beginning of the month. Now we have the big extended range candle through the value area, 3 candles that are sideways. And this isn't going to rhyme perfectly because we have one more trade, or actually we have 2 more trading days in May. But I mean, is it feasible that maybe we just blow through like we did the other time? Definitely. So this is a good technical setup in my opinion. And let's take a look at the NQ. I'll run through these very quickly. NQ also had a really hard and fast move consolidating, looking pretty good. The Russell coming out of nowhere. Look, now the Russell is actually breaking out above this monthly value area. And the Russell, I think, would surprise, a lot of people, including myself, if we could get a real breakout. Imagine if the Russell breaks out here and makes a run for 2380. How bullish would that be? There would be so many setups just like flying around. Who knows? I mean, right now it's looking that way. We'll have to see what happens. The IWM, the Russell, has been very fickle. You can see in March we tried. In April we tried right here in the beginning. Then we tried again. I actually got faked out here towards the end of April. And then we had this little like almost a try in early May. Now we're trying again. So maybe now that everyone's just so fatigued on this thing and nobody thinks it can go up anymore, maybe now is when it actually will. We'll have to see though. And then our Dow looks really good, up 0.8%. The industrials made a nice move today. And yeah, Dow also looking fantastic. So all these indices look great. Let's go to our market breadth. Market breadth here, this is perfect for a consolidation day where for the most part we had positive breadth. You can see the Qs were actually negative. I saw there was some weakness in the FANG names, but that's kind of like, what I like to see on a nice consolidation day. Like, all right, indices are looking good. They're kind of just going sideways. Breadth is holding up. Breadth is pretty much steady throughout the day. That's not bad. Looking at our heat map, you can see the FANG names sold off, and I think that's okay. It's end of month. Maybe there's some rebalancing going on. Who knows? Regardless, most of these FANG names have had a pretty nice move, and so it's not really the end of the world if they come off a little bit. Tesla had a really nice move into the end of the session. Along a call spread in Tesla right now. Whoa, excuse me. But you can see financials look great, or looked great today. They had a nice strong day. Industrials were really strong. Some of these restaurant names, but yeah, you can see it was kind of a mixed bag. This definitely seemed like, almost like a counter trend day where we had a bunch of economic data that came out this morning, and it came out very positive. The jobs data was good. I forget which other data point came out. I think it may have been like durable goods. That was pretty good as well. I looked at it earlier, but yeah, from what I noticed, I was like, okay, all the data is coming out either at or above expectations. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense where like some of these cyclical names are rallying. One thing that I did notice was sometimes when we get this really good economic data, that causes huge sell-offs in the NASDAQ and those tech stocks. So I was like, ooh, are we going to get a big sell-off here? When we opened up, a lot of these names, did have dips, but then what I saw was the dips were being bought. So that tells me, we're back in that market environment where dips are being aggressively bought. Whereas before we were in an environment where, rips were aggressively sold. So I think that's a good thing. Hey, let's take a look at Tesla. I know a lot of people were talking about this one today. Tesla. Apparently there was like a huge candle at the end of the day. Let's see, this is the 5-minute chart. And yeah, oh my gosh. So this was at like 350. Went from 619 bucks and just ripped all the way up to 631 over the course of like 10 minutes. I guess that's not big. That's only like 1 or 2%, but compared to the other candles, that's huge. See a really nice move there, and then just kind of trailed off in the after hours. Let's see here. Let's take a look at our style factors. Or sectors, excuse me. You can see here some of these stronger sectors. We had the regional banks up 1.73%. Interesting that they are now in the middle of our list. Industrials were very strong, up 1.37%. Then that aerospace and defense, very strong, up 2.75%. That was our best performer on the day. Some of the weaker areas, you can see these Chinese internet names down marginally. Biggest loser for today was the emerging markets internet and e-commerce fund. And then I see also we had the utilities, which were down a little bit too. But overall, some nice breadth in terms of these sectors and style factors, or in terms of these sectors, excuse me. Style factors looked good also. We had the high beta style factor up 1.4%, cyclicals up 1.43%, and then laggards min vol, which is good. High div, low vol, also good that the defensive areas of the market are lagging. And then growth was down 0.45%. All right, so let's take a look at some of my trades for today. Let me just take a snapshot of this. We got this one. And we got this one. All right, so I'll go through these options trades. I did these right in the beginning of the day. So at 9:36, I was down to about 2 short positions in my trading account. I reduced that down to 1. So I closed out my XLI puts, stopped out of those for 345. I'd paid 475 for those. I'm already pretty long, but this definitely seems like an environment where any shorts that you have on are really just liabilities. So I was like, you know what? In order to get myself longer, I'll close out one of those 2 hedges. So yeah, I closed that out. Then at 9:55, I got long some Airbnb June 18th 138 strike calls for 650. Airbnb finally had its day. I've been in this one for about a week now. I guess that's me being pretty impatient, to be honest, because a week really isn't that long. But I was so confident in this setup that there was a bottom forming in Airbnb. I remember I posted about this on Twitter, and of course, I got like a bunch of pushback. It's always so funny. Like, I'll post about a stock like Roblox when it's like in the base, and like I've done a bunch of work on it, and people will be like, "Oh, that company's stupid. Like, yeah, that will never go up." And then like, a couple weeks later, then it just rips higher, and then suddenly like, I'll see the same people that are like, yeah, I just think it has a bright future. And it's like, you're just seeing the price go up. Yeah, Airbnb, same exact thing. Got a lot of pushback for, thinking the setup looks good. And then today we finally got that nice ignition bar here. So I added to my position. I entered a full position in some October calls, maybe like a week ago. Yesterday, I added some July call spreads in it. And then today, when I saw it start to ignite, I added those June call options. So yeah, I'm pretty much like, very overweight in Airbnb. And, today it paid off. So like looking on this hourly chart, what I noticed right off the bat was, look at the volume that came in at 9 a.m. This is a pretty big bar compared to any of the other bars at that same time period at any other point during the week. So look at Monday, for instance. It was a huge selling bar right here. And then it was like, oh my gosh, weakness throughout the day. This is totally different where it's like, we just got a nice burst of buying. And every single candle throughout the rest of the session was green. So there is some aggressive buying in here. It could have something to do with, we have a share lockup that expired about 2 weeks ago. So I'm sure there were a lot of insider selling that was keeping the price action pinned. Maybe some of those players, they've already sold what they're going to sell, and now the stock can just trade, and now it's not pinned anymore. This name also got an analyst upgrade by RBC. They set a price target of 170. And what else was there? Yeah, that was about it. Yeah, this one, really nice move. I have no reason to think it won't continue because this is literally, day one of the move. So we'll have to see. Yeah, looking okay for right now. So yeah, Airbnb, solid. And then let's take a look at what else. Yeah, so the Airbnb calls. I had this iVol ETF. It's a fixed income ETF. I had that one on as a hedge and really just as a place to put cash. I think I will continue to use this ETF, when I need somewhere to put cash and just like pick up some yield. I closed out of this one for, essentially a scratch, 28.65. I paid 28.86. And I said making some room here. I got long overstock common shares this morning for 87.72. I'd posted that setup yesterday. Overstock, really nice move today, up over 5%. And we have that VPOC up here at 98.12. So yeah, looking pretty good. I added to my upstart at 10.17. I saw that this one flushed out in the morning, and it just remains strong. So I added some more to my position at 147.46. And yeah, this name, just continues to act very well. This is definitely like one of the leaders in the market right now, this upstart. So yeah, in the price action, it's definitely like maybe a little bit extended. It's had a big move, but it reported great earnings last quarter. We got all the way up to here. We reported even better earnings down here, and now we're just approaching that prior all-time high. So could we make a new all-time high? That would make intuitive sense to me. The company's grown even more. Another quarter of great results. I think this one could move higher. And I think that's where having some context as to the fundamentals does really help, because then you sort of get a better feel for like what's capable or like what's possible from this move. Another thing I just want to bring up, and probably should have talked about this at the beginning of the video, given this market environment that we're in, the number of bullish setups are really plentiful. Everywhere you look, you're going to see bullish setup after bullish setup. And it's very tempting to try to take every single one. But the reality is you can't take all of them. You really have to pick your battles. So, upstart for me, this is a horse that I am willing to ride. A couple of the other names. But yeah, I would just keep that in mind. Like, search for the best exposures you can have when you're in a market environment like this. And, there's going to be ones that you miss. Like, you really just can't have them all. So, just try to find the ones that you really like the best, that you understand the best, you like the chart the best. And I would go for those. That's what I'm trying to do. And a lot of my trading the past 2 days has been just trying to get my portfolio in line with which of those exposures that I do think is going to deliver me to the promised land. Let's see. And then it's getting a little long, so I'm going to wrap this up. I swapped out one cannabis name for another here. And that was about it. Yeah, I swapped out Curaleaf for AYRWF. And let's take a quick look at some options order flow before we break. And let's take a look here. So Facebook order right off the bat and a Zscaler. Zscaler reported earnings the other day. They were pretty strong. Zscaler, yeah, this one looks okay. Had really good earnings, had a nice gap up, and it's moving sideways. This is an example though where like this is a pretty good setup. Maybe we just inflect higher, but it's really like, am I going to buy this when I could be in upstart? More of my portfolio? Me personally, no, but Zscaler might end up being, a fantastic setup for all I know. I see this Lockheed Martin, and the defense area was the best today. Yeah, Lockheed, yeah, again, like this one too. Maybe we break above this high. So yeah, it's, picking and choosing. I see we had some hedges go up throughout the day. Go to, I'm not familiar with this name. Oh my gosh, yeah, I don't even want to look at this. This is GSX. Oh yeah, that's the one I think it was a fraud. Yeah, the chart looked terrible. And then this IPOE, who's squeezing this thing? Chamath must have like some of his Billionaire Boys Club members like, squeeze IPOE, start buying calls on it. I don't know. Or maybe it's just this thing is incredibly undervalued. Who knows? Yeah, IPOE. Another one, 3 tight candles of price action here. And yeah, they keep going after these call options. So that one might be one to do some more digging on. And then, yeah, more IPOE. GameStop. Yeah, we'll talk very quickly about GameStop and then we'll wrap up. GameStop, all these meme stocks are really going again. And a lot of these high short interest stocks are going again. I think this is cool. A lot of people are making some money on it. They're having fun with it. It's always kind of cool when all these stocks really start moving. The only thing that kind of sticks out in the back of my mind is, do you all remember the GameStop financial crash that we had? It was basically like when GameStop really squeezed, a lot of these hedge funds were like going belly up over GameStop, and then Robinhood almost like went insolvent. There's a huge counterparty risk. So if these things really start to go, and I think this time around it's really AMC, up 35% today. And oh my gosh, the short float's 22%. These guys, they never learn. Who knows? It could be like, oh my gosh, XYZ Capital is going belly up, and now they need to offload all their holdings. Like, you really never know. So if we get another one of these days, like if we come in tomorrow and AMC is up another like 40%, that'll probably be enough reason for me to just like take a couple of trades off, just because I don't even want to mess around with that in case it's like, oh my gosh, here we go again. It's deja vu all over again. I don't even want to mess with that. That about does it for this market recap video. Also, if you're interested in becoming a member of the Pristine Capital trading community, feel free to visit pristinecapital.net. Feel free to DM me on Twitter or anything like that. Would love to have you. With that being said, that about does it for this recap video. Hope you all had a great trading day, and I'll see you all tomorrow.